Hello friends, hope you're all doing good. So in this video, I'm going to talk about creating experience records of a scoped application. I've done one video on how to install the out-of-the-box plugin, which would give a lot of experience records, which we could refer to learn more about the now UXF UX framework. So I'll give a link to that particular video in the description, right? So let's get started. So in this instance, I have created or I have deployed the social media management scoped application. So what we are going to do today is to create an experience record, mostly an agent workspace experience record in this video, but maybe in some other video I'll do for the portal experience as well for social media management application. So let's concentrate on the agent workspace or agent workspace experience framework, experience record getting created for the social media management scoped app. So this is a social media custom app which is there, which I have deployed, which I've got from ServiceNow. So this works. It's pretty straightforward workflow scoped app. It's having approvals and stuffs in it. So let me create some dummy records here. Right, and then what else here? Let's put this, save, right? So we have one record created for this scope tab. Now let's jump into experience. So you type on experiences. I see a lot of experience records here. When you look at an out-of-the-box Quebec instance, you don't see all this records. You just see only these 6 out-of-the-box experience records, right? And you don't see the portal app shell and the workspace app shell here. But here you see the portal app shell and the workspace app shell. How I got this is explained in the video 1 for the UIB series, which I've done. As I mentioned, I'll put the link to the video in the description. So let's go and get started. We are going to create an agent workspace experience record for social media management application. So I went to experiences. I typed experience on the navigator. I clicked on experiences. I clicked on new. I am on this UX page registry table. Let's do social media workspace, right? And I would say, what is the app shell which I am going to select here? When I click on this, I have some 7 records here. I'm going to concentrate on workspace. I have 2 workspace app shell. The app shell which I'm going to use is UXR workspace app shell. Now, I do have a URL path here. I will explain it what exactly this is. For now, I'll just mention it is social media/WS. WS stands for workspace. I click on save. Now I have this UX page registries. We'll come to that. But before that, let's create an app configuration record. So here you see the admin panel. You click on the admin panel. Okay, so this is going to be app configuration record. I don't have any documents created or any reference records there. So let me go and create one for social media. So I click on social media new and type in social media. I'll say workspace. And this is the landing page which I'll create Next, this is going to be home. I'm calling it as home, right? So this is a sys ux app config record. Click on submit. I have it. Click OK. Now I have linked the sys ux page registry record with this app configuration record, social media workspace. Click on save. Now let's go into the app configuration record. Click on preview this record. Click on open record. And you have an option called open an UI builder. Click on that. The UI builder has launched. This is where we design the experience, design the pages for this particular social media workspace experience. Now I'm going to click on create page, right? So as I said, I'll create a home page, right? So I'm going to call it as name of the pages, right? This is the path home, and page template is basically where we could use some out of the box pages. And when you select something like a dashboard, you have an option like reference the page template and its data, or only copy the contents of the template, not upgrade, save. So I'm not going to use any of these for now. I'm just keeping it none. I'm going to click on create. And before that, I see that the application scope is global. I should go back and change the scope. Cancel, back. Let me check if I can change it from here. Sys underscore scope. Sorry. Sys underscore scope is global. So I should change it. Let me check if I can do it from here. Sys app lot list. This is social media management. I could have just taken this from there. UX application. Let's change it here first. And then this is a UX app configuration. Let's check if I change it here. Click OK. It has changed. Update. Now I have this sys UX page registry record. Where is that? Let me go back here. Experiences. And where is the social media? Social media workspace. This is global. Click OK. Say it hasn't changed. Has this changed? This also hasn't changed. I'll just go and do an insert and stay just to make sure this is getting changed. Update. And I'll say insert and stay. Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back to the experiences. Let me check social. I should add this. This is under, if I do an insert and stay, a record with the name. Okay, so let me do this social media workspace. Control C, delete. Let me go delete. It is not allowing me to delete because I'm in the global scope. Maybe is that the one? No, I'm in the social media scope. Delete. Yeah, it has gone. Now let's come back and create one. Control V, social media workspace, social media /WS, and I'm going to use the star workspace, UXR workspace actual, save, and admin panel. I should have something called social media workspace. Let's take a look, which is the scope. Yes, this is right. I click OK and save it. Now we have everything. Yeah, it was a mistake. I did not change the scope initially. Later I changed it. I had to do all those things in order to fix it. Now let's go back to the UI builder. We have it here. Let's go back here. Open an UI builder. We have, let's go and select the social media management experience record. I'm going to click on create a page. I'm going to call it as home, none, but still this is showing as global. Why is that? Let's social media management, apply. I've changed the scope here. You have an option to change the scope. Let's go back here once again and let's look at this social media workspace. Now create a page. Now the scope reflects home, create. All right. So we have successfully created our first page, right? Click on done. All right. So I was thinking, I was taking some time to think about what is the home page which I'll be designing. So I'll have a home page which contains a dashboard, something like this. I mocked up this for social media. This is going to be the dashboard, which will have three data visualization components and one list component. So one will this is the dashboard, right? So this will contain the first visualization component will show the count, the second one will show the number of the count of positive reviews, and the third one will contain the negative reviews count, and the bottom one is kind of a list of records which will have all these columns listed out, all these columns in the screenshot, right? So this is what we are going to this is a mock-up which we have to implement in our home page. So that's what we are going to do now. So let's start doing. All right. So let's. So the first thing what we have to do is we need to have two containers. One is for this and one is for this. So let's go to the page. Click on add component and let's select one container. And this is one container, and below that I'll have another container also, right? So for now, let's go here on container one. Container one, I think the first one I should be having a heading which would say social media dashboard. So I come here, I click on heading component. I have an heading component. Let's add that here, right? So this looks like this. Control A, it's going to be social media dashboard, and let's say level 3 header. I would say I don't want that big, so let's keep it this title, little let's keep it a little more big. How about header secondary? Yeah, this looks okay. And I do not want, I want some padding or margin. I want some margin between the this heading and this container. So I would say uh, margin. Let's keep it 10 pixels. Okay, 10 pixels is, seems okay, I guess. So let's try that. So let me save it. Okay, social media dashboard, that looks good. Now, underneath this, what will I have? So uh, I want another container under the social media dashboard heading. So um, I could what I'm doing is, instead of doing it from here from the design, I'm on this navigator, this content navigator here. I click on this three dots. I would say add component after, and I want a container again, right? Let's see how we'll look at it. We'll look this in the runtime and see how this all looks. But this is a container, and I want this container to have three uh, this visualization components, three components in a row, right? So what I'll come down here is I change the layout like this. Okay, now I have this column 1, and I need to add another component inside that column 1, which is going to be a data visualization component. Okay, this looks nice. Data visualization component. So I have added this component. Now let's try to configure this data, the visualization component. That particular component needs to be configured. So there are many ways you can look at these components. One is doing like this add, like clicking on this add button. If you click on this add button, it would show you the list of the components. Or if you want to browse through the different components which is there on you, which is there on this design, you can just come here. You can see all the list of the components which is available, right? Now let's configure this, the first component, which should give us a total count, the total monitor records which is created. I have created a few monitor records here with different types and stuffs, different assignment groups, different status. No, I see it's new. Let's change it. Mostly it is assigned. Let's change something here. Let's change the status to approval requested. Okay. And now come back here, add data source. Okay, now what is the data source? What is the table, right? It is going to be social media, right? Monitor record. So I'm going to select this. Now what is the custom conditions? Since it is everything, I'm just keeping it as is, right? So this is all the records at this source. I want the total records there, right? See this. So here the data source is monitor, and what is, I can have different options right here. I could say I need it as a count because my mockup is showing a count, so I need exactly the same value here, right? But I could even change it to a pi, right? So then we could configure it accordingly, right? So for now, I'm just going to say that this is visualization type is going to be as monitor count, which is a score, single score, right? And let's name it total monitor records. All right, so this looks good. Now let's look at the presentation here, right? Show border, show zero, chart size. I want it to be a little more large so that everybody can see without any issues. Default, single color. I'm going to change the color here. Let's make it blue. No, doesn't look good. Let's change it to dark red. Not looking good. Critical red. Yeah, this looks okay. All right, so now let's configure the second visualization component. So I come under this column 2. I could even for if we are designing this, we should uh, name each of these components accordingly, right? So when we look at this components list on this navigator, to understand what each these visualization components are, you could even modify the names. Like instead of saying data visualization 1, you could come back here, click on this, you could select this component and come to this edit component label ID. I could say here, okay, total monitor records, right? Apply. So now I will know that this particular component is this one, and here When I add the second one, which is another data visualization component, which is going to be a total positive reviews, right? Total positive reviews is this, apply, and now add the data source. It is again going to be the monitor, but in this case, the custom condition is going to change. Here, type is going to be positive. So type is positive, run, I get this, add this data source, right? To now I'll add show header, all positive reviews, presentation. I will say here, instead of single color, I need blue. I don't want anything else. I want blue, 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 royal blue. Yeah, this looks good. So here I should, if you see there is a misalignment of the size of this components here. Now, why is that? Because I had this set, the size of this particular account is set to large, right? So I should change, the score size is large. I should change it here as well. Let me change the presentation here. It is going to be large. Now this is aligned, save. Now before we configure the third one, the third component, the negative reviews, let's run this in runtime and see how does it look like. You click on the open button here, the open link or whatever it is, you click on that. All right, so now you see this dashboard getting created. Right now you can picture, visualize how this would look like, but we are not there yet. We need to configure a lot of things. When you click on this, right, nothing happens. It is not drilling down. I would expect, as a end user, I would expect when I click on this count, the score, it should take me to the list of the records. When I click on this, it should take me to the list of positive records, positive review records, right? And even if you see this, there is a lot of this the UI work needs to be done, because if you see the alignment of this page, this each components, um, from there is no there is a lot of CSS works needs to be done in order to make it look neat. So we will do that. So here, container, right? So which is a parent container here. So let me look at this. So this is the one, right? And I should have a margin set to, I would say 10 pixels, right? All right, save. This is save. This is margin. This is margin 10 pixels, but this is not right on the left hand side. How about, okay, I don't need a margin here now, because I'm saying that I have a margin from the outside the parent container. I'm setting the margin, right? To margin hyphen left 10 pixels. It doesn't do anything. We'll come to that then. Let's run and let's reload this page. Okay, so I've got some space here. Let's increase this to 20 pixels. Now this should look a little better. Yeah, I'm getting space here. All right, but these visualization components here doesn't look right. It is a little stretched out. So I should do more work, which we will do. I'm adding the the same one more data source, data visualization component for total negative reviews. Let me configure that quickly. I've configured the third visualization component, and in runtime it looks like this. It doesn't look neat. It needs some CSS works to make it a little more nicer looking dashboard. All right. So here I've played around with the certain CSS properties for each of these components to make them look like this, which I have now. I have enough margin space and paddings um, across this page. Still, I would need to consider make the size of these each of these columns or components a little more narrower. Um, this is what we could do here. If I so what I have done, let me explain what I have done so far is that I have set on this outside container, I have set a margin of 20 pixels, right? And when I come into the main container, this is the default, the flex displays flex direction is columns, right? And this is the heading component which we have added. Here I've added two CSS properties. One is margin top. So I get some margin on the top, 10 pixels, and padding left. From the left side here, I get some padding of 16 pixels. And when I come to container 3, when you add a container, right, here you always have this default width, which is set to 100%. And here I have removed that particular property, which is width is equal to 100%, I removed from the container, and each of these columns, I removed the width property and added a padding of 16 pixels property. Now, when I run this in the runtime, I get like this. But I would prefer to have a border or a container. Um, all these components should reside in a container. That's what I would like to have. So something like this, right? So there is an outside container, and all these components should reside inside that container. So in order to do that, what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to add a container, add component before, and I'm going to add a container, right? So here we have a container. Yeah. So I've added one container just about, let me add, I've added one container here, and now I have to move this container inside this container 3 inside container 4. So in order to do that, I just highlight the container 3, you drag and drop. All right. So now if you notice here on the left hand side, this container 3 is now residing inside container 4. Now let's save this. And we need to add one, we need to have this, the container 4 should have some property in order to show that solid container uh, color or line. Uh, so let's add this border solid, and it has to be 1 pixels. And let's say what is going to be the color, 1 pixels tan. All right, let's see what happens. Now let's take this in runtime. Nice. So it has come like this, right? Since it is just to show you guys the capability of this UIB, that's good. Now let's continue to add the next list of records, which is this one. So here on container 2, I'm going to add another container. Let's add another container, and inside this container it's going to be this kind of layout. It's going to be a list layout, right? So it's going to be a list component which I have to use. So what are the different list components we have? We have this list, we have list related, we have list simple, list menu, pill list. So here I'm going to use a simple list, right? So let's see what it gives. How does it look? So this is the default when you add this list simple. So all these things comes up to list of monitor records. And here I would say it is not going to be, it is going to be the social media monitor record. Social, so this is going to be monitor, right? And what is the filter condition here? Um, let's say the filter condition is going to be active is true, apply, okay. And what are the fields, what are the columns which I am of, which is of my interest here is number, type, source, short description, priority, state, and assignment group. So those are the columns. So let me search for it. Number, what is number? Number, okay. And then add, next one is going to be type. Okay, it's going to be type. See if I can do control type, source, no, control, yeah, type. So I'm not able to do that. So we have to individually add these fields, source, okay. And it is going to be uh, short description. Next is going to be state. Next is going to be assigned to. Let's see, what is that assigned to? I need name. Okay. And the max number of rows is going to be, let's say I need about 6 rows, and the maximum number of columns I need about let's say 7. Okay, so I see it here. Now click on save. Now there are different options which I see here, right? So hide highlighted values, hide header. Yeah, the header is gone, which I had typed it there. So now I have it here, hide title, hide records count. I need that hide record count badge. To hide links, hide view all footer, hide empty state image, word wrap the word. Yeah, all this dummy text which is in the short description needs to be wrapped. Okay, so now click on save. I need some now on this, even if I do this on runtime, I need to do some CSS work there as well. I need to add some basic CSS properties on each of these components so that it all looks good, right? So one thing which I would be doing is container. This is a container, or mhm. Okay, I have this container, and do I have enough space between this and this? Okay, so this container, let's add one more container before, add container before, and see what it gives. Now let's container 5, let's drag and drop inside this container. Now container 5 is inside this. Now let's put a border is equal to solid 1 pixels, and let's say tan, right? And container 2. I should have some margin, which I say 16 pixels, I think. Did I keep it as 16 pixels? All right. And I would take this off width. All right. Now let's see what else. We have this list container. We could even do some background color as well here. Let's put neutral color, which is about, we can also give the hex values here. F6, F7, F7. Yeah. So the same thing goes here on this container 1, like background color, hash F6, F7, F7. All right, save. Now refresh this page. Let's see how does it look on runtime. Okay, so it is getting better. I need to do some more work on this so that um, we could reduce the width of these visualization components. I think what we could do here is, like, this is a column 1, right? I could say that width has to be about 3 inches. See this? It reduces size, but it is not. I'm not doing it right now. I don't want to mess that up. So this is how it is now. So I was telling you about what is on the experience record when which we initially created, right? So let's look at the social media's workspace. Um, I was telling about the path, the URL path. So if you notice the exact path here, which is social media w/ws. WS is workspace, which I have put. So you could name it or whatever you want to name it. So that is what it reflects in this. This is a relative path, right? Social media slash workspace slash home. Home is the name of this page which we have created. Now, let me show you something out of the box, like the base agent workspace, right? Uh, Base agent workspace. If I open this base agent workspace in runtime, let me open this up. If you notice here, we have, there is a slight, there is some difference, not slight, there is some difference between these two pages, right? Here you see this side toolbar, which my page doesn't have. And here there is a tab wherein you could create new interaction, new incident, whereas my page here doesn't have that tabs. It doesn't have this search, which is going to be the global workspace search. And even I don't have this user profile here. That's what we are going to look at in the next video, which is basically going to be setting up certain properties, page properties for the experience record which we have created. Hope you guys have learned something about the UIB. I'm sharing what I've learned with my experiments and my projects which I've worked. So let me know if this is helpful, and let me know if any feedbacks, any improvements, anything which I said wrongly about the creation and the usage of this UIB or UXF, so I can correct myself and learn from it. Stay safe, guys. Thank you very much for watching this video.